All right, family, today we're going to talk about QQQ. The stock is showing us the sellers are truly taking over right now. So what I want to do today is I want to get in the chart. I want to show it to us real time so we can see how we can maneuver. Have the sellers truly taken over? Have the buyers sold us out? Is QQQ really going down to a number that I think it can go to? Where's the opportunity in? So I just want to help you navigate this space today, man. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, man. And today we are going to look at QQQ on the charts and we are going to see, is there a move to be made for us? We're going to talk about what type of strike prices we can make. What can be expected from this play? So let's get into it, man. Let's go. All right, man. So listen, man. We see companies like NVIDIA, Palantir, Meta, Netflix, all taking a sharp nose dive to the bottom. So we're going to look into this chart right here. We're going to see just how sellers have taken over, how we can position and pivot ourselves. Do we have to go all out and play puts right now? What is it that's necessary for us? So we're going to get on a chart. We're going to break it down. Let's go, y'all. But before we get into it, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to share this video out with somebody, right, who you know that's really trying to get into these charts, that really want to learn this game. And I hope that I can just help you on a journey so you can navigate a little bit more. Let's rock out. So the first thing we're going to do is, man, we're going to go on this monthly chart right here. And as we get on the monthly chart, what do we see? We see that on the monthly chart, we see that QQQ is 100% still in an uptrend. Now, if we look real close, what we see is all of this right here, it has rejected that so far on the month. Now, we also see here that is rejected that on the month. So it's in this nice little space. Still, it's called an inside bar because this candle right here is inside this candle right here, which is also like a hesitation, indecision. We got a couple days left in the month, so we truly want to see how this works out. That's important for us to see how all this works out. All right, the next thing we're going to do right here is go into the weekly. Okay, now what we see, let's get back on our brush. So what do we see is we see on the weekly, this is 100% a down candle, right? So we see that this week for sure that the QQQ is down, which is tech heavy. So we know tech is down right now. Tech is taking some punches. So because tech is down, we see that. Now we see that it came all the way down to about 558. And now getting to what we see moving forward, we see this large candle right here, that engulfing candle the week before, or not a lot of buying pressure the week before. And what we see is some sellers got trapped in between here and here. Sellers got trapped. That was a bearish trap. Then we saw a bearish trap. Then we saw this small body candle on top of it. So we like that. We agree with that. Those things are truly working in our favor, right? So we know that for the month, QQQ is up, but for the week, we see that QQQ is down. So let's get on a daily chart, y'all. So what do we see on a daily? Don't worry about these lines right here because I'll explain that to you later. What do we see right here? We see that QQQ right here has made a high right here, and then we see a lower high here. Then we see a lower high here, and we see a lower high here. So that tells us that QQQ has formed somewhat of a downtrend. But what we're really going to focus on is this level right here. Let's put a ray right here so we can see it. We're going to focus on this level right here. I'm going to change that color to green. So that number is 553.81. Now, that's going to be important to us. Why? Because we want to see if it bounces down to 553.81, we could see it do something like this. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. We can see it doing something like coming to 553, then bouncing up right here to 564. Right? And either we want to see it bounce on top 564 and go up, or we want to see it bounce here, may come back here and then shoot down here. We'll get into that at 541. So those are some of the things that we can see happen simply. And I'm going to get into this 1 hour chart so you can see how all that makes sense. That's the daily, so we understand what's going on in the daily. Now, I'm going to do something for you right here that's going to really help you out to make you understand what we're seeing. So as we look at the daily chart, I want you to put your eyes on this number right here. This is going to be truly essential. So you see we got the 564.85. But then I'm going to come back and take another candle and put right here. Because this is going to be essential for us because we know that that can be some resistance as well. Now, this is on the hourly chart, right? At 569. 36, right? And that mean if we can see it bounce, and I'll get into this 564 number, if we can see it bounce here and get on top of here, right, on 569.36, that can be some type of support. It can get on top of there, or it can be resistance coming from the bottom. If it can get on top of that and go up, that'll be good. Or we may see it come hit this and come back down. But what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna get into a deeper time frame so we can see these type of things take place. Right, so we're gonna go a little deeper. So right now, the reason why we want to look at the higher charts, the higher time frames, is because when we look at the higher time frames, it takes some of the chaos off of the chart. But we got to look at it two ways. Even though it's taking some of the chaos off of the chart, it's also helping us see the chart a little bit better, a little bit clearer, which for me is truly, truly, truly important for us as we move forward, right? So let's get back. I want to get into this 1 hour time frame. And the reason why I want to get into the 1 hour time frame, because this 1 hour time frame is going to truly help us see things a little bit clearer for what I see, so we can move forward. So let's get some of this off the screen. Boom. Let's get some of this off the screen. Boom. Let's look at a couple things here. So we're going to close this up a little bit. All right. So what I want you to look at is, I want you to look at this huge candle right here. Now we're looking at the 1 hour. So this huge candle right here is all that selling pressure that came from this morning. It's a lot of selling pressure that put a lot of pressure on the buyers. Now, here's we know we got a lower high here. We know we got a lower high here. We know we got another lower high here. And then here we had some consolidation that led into this downtrend, right? And then we saw it sat there. Now we sitting on top of this right here. This 569.36. We see it sitting on top of that. That's important. The reason why it's important we're looking at it sit on top of that is because now we know that once it breaks that, if it breaks 569.36, now what happens is we fall into this range. And then we did it with this large candle. Now, this is what things got really important for us. And this is what things got really hectic for us. Well, we see for a fact, we know for a fact that buyers, sellers have now taken advantage of the market. They've taken advantage of the cues. They put themselves in position. They put a lot of pressure on the buyers because they just was like, yo, here we go. You know, it's our time. And then what we don't want to do is go against that trend, right? So we broke our 569. Now, the reason why the 569 was important was because then it cleared this right here. It cleared that. So once it cleared that, it is now broken structure. So we're gonna put this on the screen. In fact, we're gonna do this. We're gonna press this. Give me a second. We're gonna press this, and then we're gonna type inside of it. Right. So once it broke that, it broke structure. So once it broke 570, right at 570, we knew it broke structure. Once it broke structure, we know now it's time for us to pay attention. So once it broke structure, what we want to see moving forward is, does a green candle pull up? Does a red candle pull up? Is it a big body? Is it a green body? Like what happens from there? So what do we see is this candle is important right here because we see it hits the 570 again and then shoots down. Then we see these two other candles, and then we wake up to this gap down right here, which buyers said, hey, sellers said, we are in the building. We are going to dominate today, right? And so as you look at that domination, you say to yourself, all right, cool. Sellers have taken over. But how much have they taken over? Now that's going to be the battle. That's going to be the fight. How much have sellers taken over today? So what we're going to do is pay attention to a couple things. Let's get in it, right? I hope y'all like and subscribing this. Man, take the minute, like and subscribe so you can understand what I'm saying, because I just want to walk you through some things. And I feel like as I walk you through it and you get to see it, you get to get a better understanding, you get to get a better feeling, you get to be like, hey, this kind of makes a little more sense to me, right? So here's what we wanted to do. As we see this Stellar signal, we don't want to hop in there and say, hey, let's jump on it. Let's jump on it. Right. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to say, hey, once the sellers have stepped in, once the sellers have taken control, what we want to do is see what this candle does. So we're looking on the 1 hour. What happened was this candle started off red. You can see and then it turned green. So buyers actually stepped in. They stepped in and said, hey, we're not letting y'all do it like that. Like, we actually gonna fight y'all for a second. Now, I want you to pay attention to something. Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. And you're gonna say, boy, trap, that's good right there. I want you to look at this area from right here to right here. Now I'm gonna bring it over. This is key. The reason why this area is key, watch what happened here. This is gonna be so clutch, and I'm gonna show y'all how this is good. So this area right here, where we got this green line at, which is a demand zone, if you look, there is no candle touching between that wick here and between the bottom of that, which tells us that is where some buyers are sitting at, right? And how do we know that makes sense? Is because if we look here, we see that, but then right here, right on top of it, we see it got rejected. Right here, that wick touched that line and then rejected it at 558. That's because that wick said, hey, they got some buyers right there. So what they did was they got some of them and then they shot back up. So buyers took back over. It touched them. Hey, I like that. And then it took back over, right? I don't want you to start. Here's what I don't want you to start doing. I don't want you to see this green candle right here and immediately say, I'm about to hop in. I'm about to hop in. I'm about to hop in. What I want you to do is understand that we are in an overall downtrend. So until we can get some confirmation to get us back, now here's what I will say. I think that if we get on top of 564, which puts us right back on top of here, we can look for this. We can look for a hop on top and then come back down. Why? Because we'll set that high and then we'll come back down, may come here and scoop these orders up here and then revert back up. That's what I'm thinking can happen, right? I'm thinking that can happen. And then I think that 553 is a great place for us to be. The reason being because we see that at 553, we have this and this that agree on that line. We have a close, you see it opened here, closed there, and then we have an open here, up. So we see that that's agreed upon. So what I'm looking at, I'm thinking we'll come down, they'll either take some orders here, go up, then touch this and go back up, or I'm thinking it'll come here, touch like it did here. We want to see a candle come in there. Because if a candle closes inside that gap, it can take that money and then go back up, which I'm thinking we'll see. Or the other scenario is it busts through it, it gets those orders. What it does is it knocks some people out of their stop losses, and then it goes back up, and then it then carries right here. We are not officially back into an uptrend until the buyers can reclaim 169 or 170. We are not back into an uptrend until we can claim 169 or 170. And the matter of fact, I'm gonna go a little further because we got to reclaim this. And watch this, what I'm about to put out there. We're not officially back into an uptrend until we can claim 174. Because that puts us back on top of this. And then from 174, we want to try to claim 176. So that's what we want to claim. So if you're looking at QQQ and you're looking for an uptrend, I want you to say to yourself, we're not officially on top of that until we claim 173 and 573 and then 576. That means we've taken out, sellers have regained that. So you're like, Chap, that's a long way up. Well, because what can happen, there's so many things that can happen inside of here. It can hit this, retest, come up. It can hit this, retest. It can hit this, retest. So you just want to see it make stepping higher lows is what you want to see. For me, the minute I can get two sets of higher lows in the way where we are overcoming some lows, for me, that's some other lower highs based on the other side. Remember, the goal is to always look left before we move right. Because if we look left before we move right, then we know for a fact we in position, right? That's what I want us to do. That's what I want us to pay attention to as we looking at the screen. So I just wanted to map that out for y'all so y'all can see some things. Let's get rid of everything on here because this is looking like it's a little chewed up. Let's go back to our demand zone. Let's go back to our gap that we see. We see this gap sitting right here. So on top of that, boom. We like that. We see right here that it touched it. We're going to put an arrow right. We're going to put this right here. We see that that plate touched that gap and shot back up. So we like, all right, we see what's going on right there. We ain't tripping on it. We see what's going on. We see what's happening right there. We understand. Currently, the prices, we doing it in real time, is at 561.98. We see QQQ doing it. I know a lot of people would have got in once they saw that taking place. But I'm telling you, if we looking right here, if we can come right there, that's how I go. 564.75. So let's change the color on that. Right, 564.75. That's what we want to go at. Also, we understand right here, we had a break of structure here. So this is the goal we want to go to. Remember, once we broke this, right, we're going to write that in. We want to put that on our chart, right? 575.62 is where we broke structure at. So we got to be willing to claim that back, right? We got to be willing to claim that back. We don't get it all back at once. You get it back little by little. And so here, from here, we want to get back on top of what? Let's go to our 4 hour and see what our 4 hour tells us. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Look, let's look at the touches we have on this. We got one touch. We got 2 touch rejections, right? We see that standing right there. It broke it. 564, it broke it on that. But I like to make my plays based off the 1 hour and then using the 4 hour. So we see it touches this gap right here and it looks different. Touches that gap, man, and shoots out of there. Touch that and shoots out of there. But now we can see it's back to 562.29. So for me, the thing I'm looking for, I'm gonna go back to my 4 hour, my 1 hour, because that's what I execute on. I see that the daily is still red. I see the 4 hour is still red. I see the 1 hour. We saw another one. We saw it rejected. We saw it almost get close to our 564, then rejected that. Again, we still into the day. We want to make sure what's going on. What I want to look at, I'll be honest with you, my number is 553.07. If we can touch 553.07, I think that's just a great place for us to be at. I think that's a great number for us to be at. We can come down to 553.07 or 553. I think that's perfect for us. I think that's what we go at. I think we touch this gap. I think we come down inside this gap here. We may get a bounce back up on top of here. Boom. And what that does is we create another higher. So we get here. I think we close below. We create a higher low. A lower high. And then I think we come here, 553. Mark me if I'm wrong. I think between 9 September, we get to 553. We get to 553. I think we see something go up. So we go 553, or we get something inside of this demand zone and go back up. I think we'll be all right. But remember, we got to get back on top of 564. 564 is what we got to get back on top of. And then from 564, we want to just stair step our way up. Remember, as it's going up, it's going to create some higher lows. It has to create a higher low because the higher low has to do what? It has to be a stepping stone that the higher high sits on. So remember, you have to create a higher low so it can look like this. Boom, 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 boom. So boom, 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 boom. All right, so I hope y'all got some value out of this video. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I just don't want y'all to panic. We do know for sure that the sellers have taken over for a little bit. And what I want you all to do, what I would ask you all to do is do not counter trend trade. Meaning, if you see the market is in a downtrend, don't be so fast to buy you some calls in the downtrend. If you're not going to play some puts, which I think if you don't have the temperament to do, you think you're going to be having to watch every tick. If you're not going to just say, hey, let me sit, wait till you see some confirmation, meaning wait till you see some red candles, make sure you see some lower highs get taken out. Once you see stuff like that start to happen, then you get confirmation. Stop trying to buy it at the bottom. Remember, if a trend has taken place, it's a good chance that that trend is going to consist until it gets what? Exhausted. What we want to do is watch for exhaustion. All right, man, it's your boy, the Wall Street Chapman, man. I love you. I appreciate you. I just want to help you navigate these markets, man. Listen, if you like this video, you found some value in this video, please share it. Please comment and just tell us how we can help you moving forward, man. Salute.